Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Yarn Thing podcast. I'm your host, Marley Bird. You can catch the Yarn Thing podcast live every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, or sometime around 10 o'clock Mountain Time. We are here in Denver, Colorado. So if you want to Google what time 10 o'clock Mountain Time is for you, just do a search for what time is it in Denver, and you can figure out what time it is for you. Or better yet, just hit subscribe right here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. Click that little notification bell, and you will be notified as soon as I release a new video or we go live, or I don't even know. I know they have like a new chat thing on YouTube. I haven't even used it yet, but who knows? Maybe I'll start doing that. I have no clue what's going to happen, but these are the options for you to know when I go live in the immediate sense of the word. Let's see here. We're going to say thank you to our lovely sponsors, Erin Lane Bags, Buffalo Wool Company, Stitches.events, Creative Bug, and last but not least, Red Heart Yarns, where I'm the proud national spokesperson. You can learn more about the sponsors by visiting marleybird.com, clicking the drop-down menu for podcasts, and you'll see a selection for sponsors right there. If you do go visit any of the sponsors, please tell them thank you for sponsoring your favorite podcast. I know that sometimes you hear about the sponsors, you might go and visit them later on, but they don't know that you heard about them from me. And it's important that they know those things, guys, because they want to make sure that their marketing money is being well spent, right? I mean, that makes sense. We're logical people. So make sure you tell them thank you for sponsoring the Marley Bird podcast. Last week, if you guys were on the show and you had a chance to see me talking with Ron Strong, what a wonderful conversation. And we had a lovely guest of Penny. She was over here and wiping her rear end on the ground. So Penny is not down here today. So we don't have any sort of craziness going on with dogs today, but we do have a crazy guest coming on the podcast. I have my friend Salena Baca joining me on the show today to talk about all things Salena Baca, American Crochet Association, and just general fun and mayhem. I want to say we always have a great time together. She's another one of those people that I met her and it just felt like we had known each other forever, even though I don't even think we had been talking online as long as what it felt like the first time we met. But it was just instant friendship. And I adore this lady. I love everything she does. She's one of my favorite designers. I know you all are going to love her too. So let's welcome Salena back to the podcast today. Hello, Salena.
Oh my gosh, what an introduction. You make me feel so special.
Well, it's true though. It's so true. And didn't you feel that way when we first met? Like,
yeah,
when I was walking up to you outside of the hotel, I was like, oh, there she is. Like, it's just like, that's my girl.
I know. No, I totally did the same thing. It felt like, like the internet kind of does that with some people. You know, you just kind of build these relationships. And then when we met in person, it was like, we were just picking right back up, like where we had left off somewhere.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we've always had you're just such a real, authentic, like passionate, like you are my people. Every single time we talk, I
love it.
It's like hours and it's never enough time.
I'm so right there with you. So I was so excited when I read my hair. I know I said this before the show, like it looked good. Like
you look so good.
I feel like it's like bedhead. All right. No, I'm sorry. I'm totally like squirrel moment, but I'm like, gosh, it is crazy. I totally lost what I was going to say.
Volume. You've got the perfect volume going on. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. So I was excited last week when I was announcing who was going to be on this week. And I had just told Ron about you and Instagram because we were talking about his Instagram feed. And he was like, yeah, I'm totally that. Everything's perfectly coiffed. And like he goes to like the Arboretum and he takes like photograph days where he has pictures that he can post to Instagram. And I told him, I said, we have to start using the hashtag crochet responsibly or knit responsibly and tag you all the time.
Oh my gosh. No, I have this love-hate with Instagram to where I'll go there every now and then, but then after like the 6th coffee cup picture, I'm like, I'm done. I can't be here anymore. And so I leave it in a huff, I'm just kind of done.
I love it.
I mean, I get it. I totally understand. And I appreciate those like coiffed picture. I appreciate them, but when I just see that everyone's doing the same thing, it makes me feel kind of like the airbrushed model magazine kind of thing. And then I feel sad about life and then I have to go eat ice cream.
I love this. So Salena, for people who might not know much about you yet, or they haven't seen some of the previous episodes, let's give them a brief rundown of who you are, how you are part of this industry, and all the wonderful things you're doing to really advance the industry and advance individuals in the craft in general, because you are such a force, and I love what you do. So I want other people to know.
Thanks, lady. Thank you. Yeah. So this is, how many times have I been on your show? A few times. And
Yeah.
every time I feel like I give like a new chunk about who I am and what I do. Yeah, so Salena Baca Crochet. That's kind of how I started. I've been in this industry for 10 years, and it's slowly evolved to where, I mean, I guess the speed dating version is I started by selling things and then, giving private lessons. And, I helped start a few organizations, like some magazines and things like that. And it just evolved into, I really love crochet education. It just felt like everything that I was doing needed a piece of education to go with it. Like, here's this pattern, but maybe you also need to know how to sew in your ends when you're done. And so I decided a couple of years ago to start the American Crochet Association as a means of providing a school of crochet. So it's essentially like having an associate's degree. We built up this 12-course program, and it's exactly like getting an associate's degree in college, to where it's general education. Some things, some things it's like, I knew that, but I didn't really have a name to put with it, or I didn't understand how it was a foundation, or hey, that allows me to try something else at like the 201 level. So that's what I'm here to talk about today, is the American Crochet Association, but specifically that, after we launched our 12-course program, the, associate's degree of crochet, we started focusing on professional services. And I spent years, specifically 1 year, beta testing a crochet instructor training program. And I did that because I'm a process engineer. I feel that things can be done a certain way. I love making handbooks and making things uniform so that other people can just pick up a handbook and go, oh, this is exactly what I do from A to Z, and then I can complete this thing. And so that's what I did for a crochet instructor training program. And I'm really excited about it. I think it's amazing. I had dozens of people go through the beta testing. We launched it, and that's what I'm here to talk about today.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Like the whole idea of you creating this course, it just totally, like, it jives with everything I think about when I think about you. Like, it's like exactly of, hey, I've put this stuff in together. We're going to become better together, and we're going to work on this. And it's just so exciting. Like, I'm excited to learn more. So take it in. Take me all about it. Tell me all about it.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit about the program, and then I'll tell you what it means to get in the program, because there are a little bit of prerequisites.
Okay.
But when you think crochet instructor training program, that kind of sounds like, that sounds maybe a little complicated. Like, I know how to crochet. Why can't I just teach people to crochet? And most people do. And in fact, most people who already know how to crochet, they're like, I can totally do this. I'm going to teach whoever wants to learn.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's a huge difference between completely understanding how to do something and then trying to articulate that knowledge so that someone else can learn in an effective way.
Right.
And that's something I learned early on as a crocheter. I was like, I know how to crochet. I can totally teach you. But then it's like, well, I don't really know what that's called. And I don't know where to start. And I just felt like I was fumbling for a long time. So this crochet instructor training program is so much more than just saying, Marley, do you know how to crochet? Sweet. Here's a certificate. Go get it. So this training program first assures that you have some prerequisites. And that's where a 12-course training program comes in. So it's a 12-course training program that is in a sequential order. And those 12 courses essentially build on the last. So it starts with yarn mastery. Everything you need to know about yarn, different resources, things you can do to assure that you understand the yarn that you're using and why you should use certain yarns for certain projects, or just how to read a yarn label, just 101 things that can just help you with general knowledge. And then course 2 is swatch mastery. And a lot of people are like, I do not need to make swatches. I just make the things, either they work or they don't. But they're so many reasons we should swatch, and gauge is just one reason we swatch. We swatch because we want to perfect things. We want to practice things. We want to see if we're using the right yarns, if we're using the right materials. We also want to see, for example, like, am I using the right color for this? Like, is this variegated yarn is super awesome in the hank, but now I'm making this thing and I'm like, wow, this is totally eating up my design. I can't even see it.
Right.
So there's tons of reasons to swatch. We go over that. And then the third prerequisite is pattern reading. Now, again, this is one where it's like, we as crocheters, we're like, I know how to read a pattern. But then when you're teaching someone, you can't really articulate how to transfer that knowledge. So the pattern reading course is, this is what a cover page is. These are the elements that you should be able to find on a cover page. These are what these things mean. Here's why crochet patterns are written in rounds versus rows. Here's how to read. Here's what the commas mean. Here's what the asterisks mean. So after you take those 3 courses, then you are primed to be a crochet instructor and take this crochet instructor training course. And essentially, this course starts with a business model. What does it mean to be a crochet instructor? Maybe your business model is just that I want to earn an income. Maybe I just want to teach people in my local church. Maybe I just want to teach my kids. So there's lots of different reasons you may want to be a crochet instructor. And it just kind of outlines that all of these avenues are okay. And what does that mean? There's also a business strategy involved. So if you do want to make this a business, how do you effectively do that? Where do you find your clients? How do you build a community? How do you assure that your clients are satisfied and they go through that journey? We talk a lot about the difference between private crochet instruction and groups, because another huge misconception is that in this industry, and I see it all the time, is people go, I'm going to teach all you guys how to crochet. Just come, we're going to drink some wine, bring your friends. I'm going to teach everyone. You've got a group of like 8 people. And before you know it, one person kind of learns and everyone else is drinking wine. And 3 people go, well, I just wasn't meant to learn.
Yeah.
And it's a hot.
Yep. I've been, it's like you were a fly on the wall in my lesson I had with my friends. It's exactly what it was like.
And there's nothing really, it's fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, if you're looking to make a business strategy, if your intent is to say, I have 3 people and I want to teach them how to crochet, we teach things like, hey, it may be best to have a one-on-one. It may be best to have a 1-to-2 ratio, but no more than that if you're teaching private crochet instruction. And the difference between private crochet instruction, in our opinion, is that when you're teaching someone how to crochet from the beginning, there's a huge difference between that and giving like a workshop on how to make, this particular bag, this particular project, learn this particular technique. It's assuming you already have a certain baseline of education.
Right.
Yeah. So what else is there? There's, again, private versus group, lessons versus workshops. We talk about teaching environments. What is a great teaching environment? Should you have your kids there? Like, should you meet in a coffee shop? We talk a lot about what the client journey is. Like, if the intent of your business model is to teach someone to crochet from picking up a hook to reading and understanding any crochet pattern, there's a journey you have to take them on to make sure that they're successful. What kind of measures can you take to assure that your client is satisfied? Again, I love procedure. I love handbooks. And, the intent of being an effective crochet instructor is to make sure that your client goes on this journey so that they effectively learn and they're not confused or frustrated and you're not confused or frustrated. So we also give business templates, business forms. We have a student tracker, a lesson tracker. We talk about community building. We talk about community involvement. How do you get people to know, like, and trust you within your community? And then and that's just the beginning. Then we go into, here is every single lesson you should give from lesson 1 to the last lesson. Here's every single lesson plan. Here's the teaching objectives. Here are the learning objectives. Here are the exact patterns that you can bring so that you're not looking on the internet for, I want to teach you, but I don't know what to teach you. What do you want to learn? Oh, you want to learn this blanket? Well, I don't know if that gives you the right. We cut all of that out. So we specifically design patterns that will help people from picking up a hook all the way to reading any crochet pattern. We include charts, we have materials lists. It literally gives you everything to where if you already know how to crochet, when you go through this program, you are going to be such an effective crochet instructor the minute you start using this handbook.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I think this is everything everybody should be doing. Like, this is fantastic. I already know this answer. Who's teaching these courses? Like, who is the professional that is saying, hey, you need to know this. I'm going to show you how.
Yeah, me, basically. I back when I used to work for a crochet magazine and a crochet conglomerate, there were a few individuals that I worked with, Danielle Pink and Emily Truman, and they were brilliant ladies. They're still kind of in the industry, but they went back to teaching. They're teachers by trade. And I learned a lot from them. And just, between the three of us, as we were running, as we were building crochet magazines and writing patterns, we were the ones like, what resources do we use? We were constantly educating ourselves. We were constantly going, well, what is the difference between a bracket and an asterisk? And just really defining those things. So after years of research, that's where this knowledge is coming from.
Oh my gosh, this is brilliant. People are asking so many questions in the chat, one of which is, this is so concise. How long did it take to evolve and develop this program? So I'm guessing, how long did it take for you to evolve and develop this? It sounds incredible. And that's from Nicole Lecompte. So I'll ask that to you.
Yeah, sure. So I want to answer that by saying, I have been in this, in the crochet, the yarn space for 10 years professionally. So I want to say it kind of started then, but really the evolution of the American Crochet Association started in 2015, to where I was just really interested in gathering up as many resources as I could into one place. So I think that's kind of when this started, and it's just evolved from there since 2015.
I love that. There's also a question from Carrie Benson, and she wants to know, if I purchase the ACA course, does that give me access to the classes indefinitely or just for a limited time?
Yeah, great question. So the way the American Crochet Association works is we are subscription only. So when you join the Learning Path, which is that associate's degree, essentially, it's $10 a month. You get one lesson every single week, and we have 48 lessons total. So you just, you sign up, you get one lesson every week, because we want people to just get some knowledge, and then we want them to apply that knowledge, and we don't want them to feel overwhelmed. The reason we're subscription only is because that is our sustainable business model. So if you're, by being subscription only, we don't, we have no advertisers, we have no sponsors. So we are 100% run by our subscribers. And we are constantly assuring that our information is up to date, that our formats make sense, that our educational platforms are fun and exciting and engaging. And we also have a community that we are active in every single day. So it is subscription based because it is an evolving knowledge base. So I think I got off track a little bit. So her question was, if I join today, if I join today. So yes, if you join today, you join the Learning Path. Marley's got a special link, so definitely get that link from Marley. And it's $10 a month. And after the first 3 courses, so yarn, swatch, and pattern reading, you unlock as a prerequisite the invitation to join our Crochet Instructor training program, if you would like.
I love it. So I was just trying to look up the show notes link. Oh my gosh. And it's not letting me, but that's right. Okay. So we have another question.
Yeah, I gave it to Caitlin yesterday. So
I know, no. It's not you.
Definitely get it from Marley.
The computer is running slow on behind the scenes. So you're good. I'll get it for sure.
Okay.
I'm sure it's in the show notes. That's what I was looking for, was the show notes link. I just can't get it. It'll be fine. All right. So we have, I think it's pronounced Saki Jones. And she says, this sounds better the more she goes over it. I can't wait. I can crochet, but know my limitations when it comes to teaching. And I'm going to back that up with another person here, Candace Glauner. She says, I'd like to take this course just to know all the things for myself. So would you recommend that? If somebody's like, you know what, I really just want to know this stuff for myself, I don't really plan on teaching anybody, is this something that they could do? Sometimes we just need validation that we know what we want to know.
Absolutely. And that's how our platform is designed. So again, everyone has to go through the prerequisites of yarn, swatch, and pattern reading, and then you unlock that invitation as a member to join our professional developments like the Crochet Instructor Training Program. But all of this information is geared towards just assuring you have a baseline of education, and then you have options. So part of our beta testing with the Crochet Instructor training program was I just invited a bunch of our members who earned that prerequisite. And then I asked them like, hey, what are you going to do with this training? And some of them were like, I had one member who was like, hey, I just really wanted to teach my mom. Or I just, people see me crocheting all the time and I just want to be able to give them some knowledge in a meaningful way. And some people are like, this is going to be my day job, or, I'm going to teach in my community and I'm going to give lessons every day. So we really provide that spectrum so that you have the knowledge and you can pass it on in whatever way you'd like.
Okay. So one thing that I noticed here, hold on, let me click back so that it's on me as I'm talking. So it says down here, crochet instructor training, pattern writing training, and technical editor training. So for those who might not know what a technical editor is, I'm going to have you explain it. And then this actually might be an aha moment for people who are like, I can't really design, but I'm really good at math and I can really do well with like Adobe, whatever. And maybe that's the path I should go. So tell me how that works into your plan.
Sure. Those ideas, stem back from working with Danielle Pink and Emily Truman, and we were all kind of doing this work ourselves. We were sharing all of those jobs. So I'm still actively developing the pattern writing course. That's something that I hope to launch this year. It's been in beta testing for over a year now, and we're still building on it. But back to your question about the technical editing. Certain people are just really brilliant. And I learned this after working with Danielle and Emily. Certain people are just primed for understanding. Wait a minute, that math equation does not add up. Let me reconfigure that. Or they can just visualize instructions, or they can condense instructions in a way that are more universal. Not only that, but they just understand like the little configurations and the terms and just, how to best format things. And I think that not enough people are doing that on a universal level. And so another thing that the American Crochet Association hopes to accomplish is that for people who do publish themselves, maybe you also publish in magazines and books and things like that, but there are millions of people everywhere. Everyone every day writes and publishes their very first crochet pattern, right? And it's very easy to do that on Etsy or Ravelry, wherever you want. So what the American Crochet Association hopes to accomplish is to provide enough education and resources and our own universal standard so that those individuals can be successful in the patterns that they publish. So yes, that's what we hope to accomplish with our pattern writing course and our technical editor training is, because there's already a lot of jobs for people, maybe there's not, maybe there is, in this industry with magazines and yarn companies and publications, they have their own teams of tech editors and writers sometimes.
Right.
And, that's maybe like what, 10% of the industry, and the other 90% is people who are just publishing their things on Ravelry and Etsy and wherever else. And
Right.
so it's those people that I really hope to make a difference in their lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, so many questions here. Let's see here. So I'm going to go back up. So we have Diamond Babe 58. With the
Yay!
subscription, are the lessons downloadable?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is subscription based, but as a subscriber, as long as you're a subscriber, every lesson that you unlock, there is a video, there's a PDF handout, there's a quiz, and there are cheat sheets. And yeah, that information is downloadable, but it essentially acts as a library to where it should be. We were really concerned about being very user friendly. So you can download if you'd like. But we also wanted to have a library that, you can keep all your information in one place and you don't have to kind of bog down your desktop or your whatever device that you use.
Fantastic.
So it's at your preference.
All right. So now we have Deborah Wood, and Deborah says, I am left-handed and I don't know if I convert patterns correctly. Will this be covered?
Yes,
that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a great question. That was something I realized when I was giving a lesson about 10 years ago that there was a difference between a left-handed and a right-handed crocheter. And I realized mid-lesson, I was like, oh, okay. So really, there are a few things that you have to change, or there are a few things that you have to identify to effectively teach someone who's left-handed. And we talk a lot about that in our instructor training program. But some tidbits are that a left-handed person can follow right-handed patterns, because right-handed patterns are 98% of what we see in the industry. You know, things are just written right-handed terms. But if you're a left-handed person, as long as the pattern is symmetrical, you can follow it.
Right.
It's those asymmetrical patterns that don't translate. You know, if you're working something right to left, if it's the exact same from left to right, then it's fine. But if it's not, like if you're working a baby booty and the seam is on the side, it's just not going to jive.
Right.
So we do give tips and we do talk about that. Yes.
Awesome. So that also coincides with Ellen Sheedy's comment. She says, I am a lefty. Is this geared towards righties or just teaching others to use the same dominant hand? In other words, could a lefty learn to teach righties and vice versa? So the reason I'm like, it goes hand in hand is it a great way for, say, for me to be able to teach left-handed? So like you, I never really clicked with me that there were actual like left-handed crocheters until I was teaching one. And then I taught myself how to not knit. Did I say knit or crochet? I said crochet,
You
right?
said crochet, yeah.
Okay. But I taught myself how to crochet left-handed, and I was like, this is so odd. But then it just like something about it being so similar to knitting clicked with me that I'm like, oh, I got this. And so now I can crochet left-handed, but when I do left-handed videos, I just flip the video so that I don't have to go through a whole, film the video twice. But then it just makes it easier.
Symmetrical.
Yeah, exactly. It
as
makes it easier for
long as
people.
it's symmetrical. So yeah, to answer that question, if you're a righty or a lefty, lesson 1 in this training program, it identifies commonly asked questions. And that is one. So we just identify, well, what does it mean to be a right-handed crocheter? What does it mean to be a left-handed crocheter? And when is that a problem?
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So Ninja Bunny Crochet says, if I join for $10 a month, will I have access to the pattern writing course and the tech editing when available too, or will that be an extra fee?
Yeah,
all these questions.
I know, great questions. I'm glad you guys are asking. Yeah, that is an extra fee because it's essentially a professional development workshop. So again, think about it like school. Think about it like I'm going to school to get my associate's degree, and everyone has to take the first, so many courses because that's an associate degree. But as you take certain courses, you unlock the ability to take other courses. So whenever you go to college, you can't take Psych 401. You have to start with Psych 101. And
absolutely.
You kind of build from there. So we fully understand that not everyone will be interested in taking the Crochet Instructor Training Program. So we don't ever just dump information on people. We don't want this to be an information dump. We don't ever want to just give people more than what they're looking for. So it's definitely a separate course and there is a separate fee.
All right. So another question here from Kathy Jenks. She says, if she completes this course, would she still have to go through the course for CGOA to get certified with them?
You can absolutely do that. I love that there are a multitude of resources that fit people's needs. So I say whatever kind of training or information or knowledge is out there, do whatever you feel is best for you. So if the CGOA offers something that you're interested in, if they offer something that that really speaks to you, absolutely go in that direction. And definitely check out what we have to offer, especially everything that I've listed, and that speaks to you, then definitely go through that.
Right. So I'll go further and answer that. Yes, if you complete Salena's course, that gets you certified with Salena's course. If you want to be a certified CGOA instructor, you have to go through the CGOA course. They're not one and the same. They're not interchangeable. It's just like getting a degree from the University of Phoenix or the University of Colorado. Like they're just two different things, but you could get the same topic, right? It's just you have two different diplomas. So yeah, there's that. Let's see here. It's another lefty thing, so I'm going to read through it. I haven't read through it yet, so I'm just going to read it out loud. Hopefully I don't get in trouble. Rosemary says, lefty here and about to teach my first ever knitting class and was a bit worried about if I can effectively teach right-handed knitters. So this is crochet we're talking about, but I'll say to this, Rosemary, you could be a lefty knitter, which could mean maybe you just hold your yarn in your left hand, but you really knit continental righty. If you are a lefty knitter and you actually knit left, like from your off the right hand needle to the left hand needle. You're knitting opposite the crochet. You'll be just, or opposite the right handed. You'll be fine. Just take your time as you're teaching them, and you'll be perfectly okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. Is there a Canadian Crochet Association?
I have to say, we are called the American Crochet Association because I teach in US terms and standards. And
Perfect.
yeah, so that's where we focus, and that is the material that we use. However, we're a global organization. So we have students in Australia and Africa and the United Kingdom. So really, we are a global organization, but just know that we do teach and talk in US terms and standards.
Perfect. And that leads perfectly to Whisper SDI, who says, is it geared to European crocheters or easily translatable to it? I am Dutch, and there are different crochet terms used over here naturally. Is the course is there a course to teach convertibility? Do you address this topic?
Right? Yeah, so we don't specifically teach those terms. So we don't teach this is sometimes we do. Let me backtrack just for a minute. So for example, we have a tools course, right? And we talk a lot about crochet hooks, and here are the different measurements, but we have a lot of different identifiers for these measurements. Here are the US identifiers, here are the metric identifiers. So when there are a multitude of options, we do try to touch on those, but again, we only teach in US terms and standards.
Cool. So those are the questions so far. I think I'm caught up. I'm gonna look through here real quick. And while I'm doing that, let's let people know a little bit more about your Instagram excitement. While I'm like, you distract them while I'm reading.
Oh, I see.
Oh, you're funny.
So the Instagram chat that I had the other day?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I should say, I would love to hear how your audience feels about Instagram. Is this, now I know that people are probably here because they found you on Facebook, or maybe they love YouTube and that's the viewership here. But I genuinely wonder, like, where are these Instagram people coming from? Are they just on Instagram? Are they on all the places? And then it's really fascinating for me to hear why people like Instagram and what kind of experience they have there, or what it is that what are they getting from it? Are they getting inspiration? Are they, I don't know. So
yeah, well,
I'd love to hear that.
People are now asking, what is your Instagram?
Oh my gosh. So the American Crochet Association is on Instagram. That's our handle, American Crochet Association. But Salena Baca is also on Instagram. So SALENA BACA crochet, Salena Baca crochet.
Perfect.
And I am not very active on Instagram, but I'd love to see you there.
I am so with you. We could have a whole conversation about Instagram, because I do it, but I really struggle with it. It's a hard task for me. And that leads me to,
I feel like I'm in a hipster bar. Like, I don't quite know.
Yeah. I'm totally with you on that. So this kind of leads to another question about social media side. So as you're teaching about all these things with teaching, and people are part of these courses, is there a place for people to interact if they're part of the course? So I'm wondering, like, is there a group somewhere? Is there I don't even know what else is available.
Yeah, absolutely. So I particularly love Facebook groups. I think that they're great communities, and you can find the American Crochet Association's group on Facebook. And in that, we're very active. We have very meaningful conversations. Again, I run a tight ship, so it's not, we don't run amok in there. We ask very genuine questions. We have meaningful conversations, and we talk about all of the topics that we've outlined here. So if you enjoy and you want to check it out, come on over to our group.
I love this. So one thing that I have in my notes from Caitlin, it says that the ACA is the only program that will give crochet instructors a business model or a strategy for patterns and a client journey. And I love that you're doing that. That's fantastic.
Yes. Well, that's very important to me. That's the way I need to learn and adopt things. And so that's the way I teach. Like, let's talk about the how, let's build knowledge, and then let's build skills. and let's have a checklist that allows us to have the same success and optimize that success every single time.
Perfect. Well, it's the time of the show that we give away a prize. And I know that you have a lovely prize to a live listener, and
Yes.
the same prize will go to a commenter after the podcast over on the show notes. So before we say anything, I'm going to tell everybody that if you want to leave a comment for a chance to win a prize, that comment must be left on the show notes. And I'm going to link to the show notes here in just a minute in the chat. And I'll also put that in the video description notes or video description, box below. In the show notes, you'll find a direct link to things that we talked about today, so that way you can go and sign up. Salena gave me a lovely affiliate link, so that way if you guys sign up, yay, I get paid. So make sure you use my affiliate link. But if you are listening live, you have a chance to win live here on air. And so what I want you to do before Salena tells us what the prize is, I want you to write, I love to learn, in the chat. I love to learn. And you're entering for a chance to win. What, Salena?
That's right. So we developed a workshop. It is a crochet assessment and skill building workshop. It is a 4-lesson workshop. It's a $24 value, and that's what we're giving away today.
A workshop.
That's right.
So say that one more time.
Okay, so it is a 4-lesson workshop. It is assess and build your crochet skills.
Perfect. Gosh, that's awesome. That's really cool. And that's also what they have a chance to win by leaving a comment on the show notes, right?
That's exactly right.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. You're going to have so many people who are like interested in this, and they're gonna be like, I gotta sign up for this whole course. Like, it's so exciting. I love that you send out like little certificates to people too, like, because I'm part of the group, and as I see people like, I got my certificate, I'm like, that is just the coolest thing.
Yes.
To have that excitement.
Yes.
There are so many people writing I love to learn in the chat area. So I'm going to scroll up to where they started writing it. I'm going to scroll back down to where they are. And then I'm scrolling up and down. You tell me when to stop.
That's exactly what I do.
I know. Stop. It's so easy. Stop
right
stop.
There.
You said stop. Okay. It's Teresa Reckert. Teresa Reckert. So it's still, people are still writing I love to learn. And so it's like scrolling up on me. I'm like, no, that's where it was. All right. So I'm going to right here and tell Teresa that she can email me. And what do you need from her?
Yes. So I need her email and her first and last name, and then we can set her up with an account.
All right. So I'm going to have her email us since she's the winner. Please email us winner. Whoops. At yarnthingpodcast.com with name and what else did you say? Just her email?
And that's
name
it.
And email address. Cool. Awesome. So that will work out fine. I'm sure she's super excited. Things are still like scrolling by so fast, so I can't tell if she's excited.
I'm so glad.
I'm sure she is. This is so much fun. Did you ever think that, you know, over the past several years that you've put this together and grown this, that it was going to be something so amazing and magical? I mean, to me, I knew you were going to do that. Like, this is just really great. It's like, of course, you're going to be this is going to be out of the park. But what did you think? Were you like, oh, here we go?
No, I had the full intention. I've always known exactly what I wanted to do. And I am very passionate about helping crocheters to help themselves. That's my motto. And every single thing that I do is with that intention. Another intention that I have is that, just a little backstory, it was really difficult for me to learn crochet, even though I was very passionate. Like, I persevered, but so many people don't persevere because they don't have the right resources or information or teachers, and not for lack of trying. And so it's very important to me to provide resources so that crochet can effectively and successfully be passed through the generations in better hands than we found it.
I love that. That's a great way to end this. Salena, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. This is so much fun having you on the show. And I love that so many people are learning about the ACA, and hopefully they'll go and sign up and we can just make this world of better crocheters.
Yay. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. And I'd love to see you at the American Crochet Association.
Awesome, girlfriend. You guys can follow Salena on Facebook and on Instagram. All of her links and information are written in the show notes. So anything you need to find, just go there and you will get what you need. Thank you, Salena, so much. And I will talk to you guys next Tuesday when I have Ashley Leather on the podcast. You guys remember her? Do you know
her?
You do
Yeah,
you?
she's fantastic.
I don't know her personally, but I've bought her hooks, and we
Yes.
just did a review on her subscription box, and so she's coming on the podcast. I'm excited. I'm excited to meet her.
She's
So
wonderful. She's wonderful. I've known her for years now, and I love what she's doing. I think she's got a great style. I think she's a great person. So I'm excited to watch that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, like funny enough, I found her on Instagram. So I'm the Instagram person.
There's some gems. I know there's some gems there. There are.
Yeah, I found her on Instagram through Pam because Pam has her hooks always. And all that. I was like, I love those hooks. I got to try those hooks. So she'll be on the podcast next Tuesday. And then we are taking a couple weeks break because I am going on a family vacation. So I'll give you more details about that next week. But until then, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. And I'm going to end it like Salena does. Peace, love, crochet, everybody. Bye.
Bye.